Alito.
Alito.
Osio. Peace, power to the people.
Yep.
Hopefully everybody's in good spirits, high spirits, We know we got a lot going on in the community, It doesn't seem like no unity, but, rest in power to King Von, Mo3, all those who lost their lives, And it's foolishness that we should still be, we should, at this point in time, we should be woke by now and knowing, the pain and everything that we're causing. But I guess, still sleeping. But anyways, I was doing, what would we call it? I was looking at Aboriginal Power. He had a video. Man, I can't remember the name of the video, man. Shout out to him though, bruh. He's a young wolf, man. Copper Grizzly. He be doing his thing. But I was watching one of his videos that Rob Bourne was on. And Rob Bourne, he tried to pull up, these I'm getting familiar with his name through you guys and through Legendary Talkcast, but the bruh tried to run, like he was gonna do a walk by or, ride up in the car like he was gonna blast. And he got snatched out the car and blasted. But he mentioned this dude, man, Martin Delaney. And I seen he was trying to have A1 read up on him and hey, this and that and blase, and he said he had to leave, hurry up, and I can tell because he was like, just get to the part where this and that, this part and what he did, and but me seeing that, I was like, nah, something ain't right, man. Why is he like trying to have him hurry up and read through? Let's walk this down. Let's take our time with this cat, man. Let's work him. Let's give him these body shots, man. Body, head. Then we're gonna go for the kill and knock him out. So this is what happens when they saw knockoff Africans, what they call it, a drive-by gone wrong. Because literally they was tearing them up, man. Literally they was tearing them up. And, I like seeing that type of, unity and, where everybody, chiming in as far as like, everybody can hold their own, but it was good to see, the people working together on the topic and, but I seen how he tried to throw this Martin Delaney guy. So we're going to get into him, right? Without no further, we ain't going to hold back nothing. We just going to go with it. All right. Martin Delaney, he was born May 6, 1812, died January 24, 1885. And this is the guy that the cat Rob Bourne was, talking about and this and that and, bigging up in this guy. But we got some cold, stuff on this dude, man. Martin Delaney, he's a cold dude, man. And I got you under suspicion, man, of being one of these old Negro pens, man. But we didn't dig into his genealogy, I haven't dug into there yet. I skimmed through it, but we're going to get into it, though. So, he was a so-called African-American abolitionist, journalist, physician, soldier, and writer. Arguably the first proponent of so-called black nationalism, Delaney is credited with the Pan-African slogan of Africa for Africans. Born a free person of color. Wait, hold on, what? Yep, he's born a free person of color, Charlestown, Virginia, now West Virginia, and raised in Chambersburg and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Delaney trained as a physician assistant during the cholera epidemic in 1833. That's something to look at too, because it was a big outbreak that was going on over in Europe with this. I want to say it might have been Asia and some parts of Africa, but mainly Europe, and we know who was coming over and being brought over here. So we got a problem with this, and he's got the solution, or comes up and he's helping out with it when all the rest of the doctors like trying to break, like, I ain't trying to have nothing to do with this, with this pandemic, because it was a pandemic. So he deals with it. So then we're going to go into, and this is something that they don't, this is a side note about it, was that they were saying it could be by the food or by the water. You know, and you know how them other places, you know, with that food and water, they're not too advanced and they ain't got no healthiness, or, you know, it's polluted. They got a whole lot of pollution going on. 1850, Delaney was one of the first 3 so-called black men admitted to Harvard Medical School, but all were dismissed after a few weeks because of widespread protests by white students. Delaney was, so these so-called white students, these pale faces, are harassing him. So Delaney had traveled into South in 1839 to observe slavery firsthand. So this is a guy who's born free because his mom's free. This is what gets him in. I guess his dad, it says his dad's enslaved, his mom's free. He wants to travel and see what's going on with the slaves, so he has a first-hand experience. So it says to observe slavery firsthand. Beginning in 1847, he worked alongside Frederick Douglass. Works alongside Frederick Douglass, y'all. But there's some difficult, we're going to see, you know, there's something that ain't working out with these two. So, Delaney dreamed of establishing a settlement in West Africa. He visited Liberia, a United States colony founded by the American Colonization Society, the ACS, y'all. And this guy right here is a part of the AME churches. Y'all already know from Legendary Topcast, giving y'all that work about these ACSs and these Society of Friends and Religious Society and all these little cliques, these little mob cliques that was in the hand of destruction of our people with these religions, right? So, and lived in Canada. So he went to Liberia, which was a United States colony founded by the American Colonization Society, and lived in Canada for several years. But when the American Civil War began, he returned to the United States. When the United States colored troops were created in 1863, he recruited for them. Commissioned as a major in February in 1865, Delaney became the first so-called African American. We don't know what he is yet. You know, they're saying that his parents was so-called Africans. The dad's from, can't remember what part of Africa. The mom's supposed to be from Niger or Niger River or somewhere around there, West Africa. I think the dad's from South Africa, or yeah, I think so. I think Liberia. But this, man, it don't make sense, y'all. So, Delaney became the first so-called African-American field-grade officer in the United States Army. After the Civil War, Delaney went to the South, settling in South Carolina. There he worked for the Freedmen's Bureau and became politically active, including the Color Conventions movement. Delaney ran unsuccessfully for lieutenant governor as an independent Republican. So we know, everybody been showing y'all, we all been talking about this, we know that so-called black people was original Republicans, right? We all know this. So this is what he's doing, Martin Delaney. So as he's running for this independent Republican, he was appointed as a trial judge, but he was removed following a scandal. So we got some scandalous stuff going on, you know? And we'll get into that because he pulled some scandalous stuff on the church. He was the head of the church, pulled some scandalous stuff. Delaney later switched his party affiliation. He did what? Switched his party affiliation. He worked for the campaign of Democrat Wade Hampton III. Are you serious? So y'all, when y'all be seeing these Pan-Africans, when they be pulling up these names or some of their idols and stuff, do thorough research on these guys. And this is coming out of, we got so many, like, we got Encyclopedia Britannica. We got another one that's, we We put up like all kind of sources on this guy, along with Wikipedia, just because Wikipedia is just a little general thing. The other ones kind of, they collaborate with each other though. So this is where you got this guy. He was appointed a trial judge, but he was removed following a scandal. Delaney later switched his party affiliation. He worked for the campaign of Democrat Wade Hampton III. So he done switched up. This is what you call a buster. He done went from the Republicans with his people to the Democrat and helping out a Caucasian dude, a paleface, Wade Hampton III, who won the 1876 election for governor in a season marked by violent suppression. So he's behind these guys. Martin Delaney's behind these guys. That has marked a season by violent suppression of so-called black Republicans, voters by red shirts, and fraud in balloting. Does it sound familiar? Fraudulent balloting? So they rigging up the polls back then. This is why, we always say, ain't nothing new under the sun. All this stuff is the same stuff that's been going on. So then we get into Delaney was born free in Charlestown, Virginia. We know who Charlestown, King Charles, right? Virginia, present-day Charlestown. To Patty and Samuel Delaney. Although his father was enslaved, his mother was a free woman. Under Virginia slave laws, children were considered born into the social status of their mothers. All of Delaney's grandparents had been born in Africa. His paternal grandparents were of Gola ethnicity from modern-day Liberia, taken captive during warfare and brought as slaves to the Virginia colony. Family oral history said that the grandfather was chieftain who had escaped to Canada for a period and died resisting slavery abuses. Very interesting story. You got chieftains and all this. This is how the mom gets free. So the mom can be free because I don't want to jump to through this, but the mom ended up getting free because her father is a prince of so-called West Africa. So this is how she gets free. Here it is, dude. So you got people this is why we got to start looking into this, right? These names and stuff, because they got some names on here and things like that. We want to trace this back to see if these people was chiefs and princes and all this stuff out of this so-called area called Africa. Because these might be some Negropeans and all that. Because this dude he's working for the other side. He's doing a whole lot of stuff for the other side. You got the AME church behind him, which is all that ACS, the Quakers, all this stuff. This is one of their little groomers. They done groom this dude, because he's going through these churches and stuff while he's going to school and all that. Going to school with him, the doctor that takes him in is a part of this. We're gonna get into that, man. I don't want to leave nothing out. So his mother Patty's parents were born in Niger Valley, West Africa, and were of Mandinka ethnicity. Her father was said to have been a prince. So this is his mother, Patty. And her father was said to be a prince named Shango. We got to look up Shango, y'all. We got to trace him down. These are the cats we building this evidence against these knockoff Africans. So we got to look up this name, Shango. And he was captured with his betrothed, Gracie, and brought to America as slaves. After some time, their master gave them their freedom in Virginia. Okay, they're getting their freedom. Now this is where it starts getting to where this bamboozle we've been getting, this B12 dope that they've been blowing up with these stories, and they're stuck forever, or how are these people getting out of their contracts, which we all know these contracts and they're working. But for you unlearn people, how do you explain this? Go and look up Martin Delaney and look up his story. Look up everything. Leave no stone unturned. So, their master gave them their freedom in Virginia, perhaps based on their noble birth. Wow. So, gave them their master in Virginia based on their noble birth. Nobility, right? So then Shango returned to Africa. Gracie stayed in the colony with her only daughter, Patty. When Delaney was just a few years old, attempts were made to enslave him and a sibling. Their mother, Patty, carried her two youngest children 20 miles to the courthouse in Winchester to argue successfully for her family's freedom based on her own birthright. Right? Y'all know how that goes, how they always tell you, or is this whole little thing, the mother, how they had the slave laws or indentured laws set up. As he was growing up, Delaney and his siblings learned to read and write using the New York primer and spelling book given to them by a peddler. Virginia prohibited education of so-called black people. When the book was discovered in September 1822, Patty moved with her children to Chambersburg in the free state of Pennsylvania to ensure their continued freedom. They were already free from you. What more? What did you think that was going to happen? You guys are already reading and everything and got regular names. And that's another thing that we want to tackle too with this Gullah, with these Pan-Africans, with this this Gullah too, the Gullah language. We're going to get into that, but they say that's like a was a code language or something for so-called slaves. How is this possible? How are they practicing this language when they're always telling you guys that you weren't able to speak your native language? If they're West African, what should they be speaking?
West African?
What do they have to chop it up and learn Gullah and all this stuff for? And the people are letting them talk Gullah? How is that? How is that possible? Whether you're talking Gullah or Nigeria, they don't know what the heck it is. Whatever it is, that's another thing. Who are these people that know that these people are speaking these languages? How were they doing business? Was these so-called pale faces speaking this language too? What they knew to hey, I need 5 of these guys. And Yoruba or whatever, Igbo. So this doesn't make, this whole story is like, it's garbage, man. It really is, man. It's a waste of time for you guys to not know this at this day and age and not how to put it together. Like, it's just so easy. It's like 1, 2, 3. Like, how you not know? Like, these pale faces are speaking this language? And they're bringing all these millions of people? Nah, these are people that they was bringing. These people bringing their own people. This is nobility. These wars over there going on. These Negropeans now. It's like they tell you. You already know. So-called King James is a copper man. King James is a copper man. All this stuff. All this Jamestown, Virginia. All this stuff. So you know what's going on. These people of color. Later on, they're bringing in all kind of people. They got all these wars, vagabonds, prostitutes, all this stuff going over there in their own backyard. So they found a way to bring them in employment and ship their little mangy butts over here and put them through the same thing while our people had the same system going on. Indian slavery, and put Indians in slavery. They was already going through this. System's already going. They just come in, get a hold of the system, fine-tune it, running their people along with the pale faces over there from all over, Scotland, Ireland, all this stuff, running them through it. White Cargo tell you all that. You done read all through all that stuff you was dealing with legendary Topcats when we was out there, and brother Nick Fontano. We was chopping it up, and the sister, what was her name? Nisha. But now let's get back to this guy. So this is when she goes down there, for her child's freedom, because they was trying to so-called enslave him and everything. So she ended up moving. And as he was growing up, Delaney and his siblings learned to read and write, as we was reading, right? But a year later, to ensure their continued freedom, that's when she moved, to secure their continued freedom. They had to leave their father Samuel. But a year later, he was allowed to buy his freedom. So wait, hold on. She's free. She gets with an enslaved guy. He's still enslaved. Has a family and everything. How's he having a family and all this? Like, he's enslaved. He's got a family. He's doing his free thing on the side. All this stuff. They leave. Years later, he buys out of his freedom, it says. Buys his freedom, and he joined his family in Chambersburg. This is what you guys are, this is the elementary stuff we're going through. Y'all can't see this? Like, man, this story is like whack as heck, man. This is why I be like, God's name, why are we still talking about this? But we got to, because you still got these dang knockoffs out here pushing this knockoff, idiotic, behaviors and foreign thoughts and things that don't make sense. In Chambersburg, young Martin continued learning. Occasionally he left school to work with his family. Could not afford for him to study in Pennsylvania. So-called blacks only educated through the elementary grade, so Delaney educated himself by reading. 1831, at the age of 19, he journeyed west to the growing city of Pittsburgh, where he became a barber and laborer, and attended the Cellar School of so-called African Methodist Episcopal Church. There we go. There we go with that church, man. And he's going up in there. And y'all gonna find out he gonna bring it to the people. Right? So he appeared with a white physician. He appeared with a white physician. The start of it all. With behind every faulty knockoff so-called copper man, you're always going to find a Caucasian or paleface right behind him. So he met in 1843 Delaney. Her name is Catherine A. Richards. She was a daughter. What? Hold on. She was a daughter of a successful food provisioner, said to be one of the wealthiest families in the city. So he done met with this other copper woman that got it going on. Her family got money. During this time, 1843? What in the world? All these people supposed to be enslaved and all this stuff? Mm-hmm. She over here balling and he meet up with her and everything?
It's crazy.
You got it, man, look here, y'all. This is... Delaney became involved with the Trinity AME Church. Told y'all. The Negro pens and all that stuff they had going on all over there at their home front with all these religious wars. They come over here, start it back up. They ain't got to worry about getting blasted or beheaded and, all that other good stuff they got going on over there. Over here, you're free to do your thing, and then they bring it upon us. So, the church was part of the first independent, so-called black denominations in the United States. We already know who was behind them. So, he began attending Jefferson College, where he was taught classics. He likes Latin. He likes learning Latin. Negro pen? Latin and Greek. Right? And then Delaney became more active in political matters in 1835. He attended his first national Negro convention, not African convention. First national Negro convention, held annually in Philadelphia since 1831. He is inspired to conceive a plan to set up what? He is conspired to conceive a plan to set up so-called Black Israel on the east coast of Africa. Is these things like suspicious to y'all? Is this why that dude, Rob Bourne, didn't want Brother A1 to go in deeper and deeper when he was reading about this? He was like, nah, just go to the part where I was telling you. Nah, bro, we want to read all this. We want to dissect this dude, man. We got him on the operating table. We got him tied down and we want to chop into him, man. You know? We want to see what his thought process is like. We want to dig in his brain. Right? So then his activities about controversy. Right? Controversy. Always a controversy with these dudes. That's why Frederick Douglass broke away from him. He was sued by LaBelle Fiddler Johnson, a black man he accused in the mystery of being a slave catcher. So this dude accused a so-called black man of being a slave catcher. Delaney was convicted and fined $650. Woo! Trying to pin the tail on somebody, and you the one working for the Democrats, working for the Paleface and Hampton III, and got him in the office and everything. You trying to point the finger at somebody else and tell them, oh man, he's a slave catcher. Remember the Indian slave catchers? Who was them? Iroquois and all them? What? Uh-oh. Where we at, y'all? What we getting at, man? What kind of work we got, man? This is work. So a huge amount of time. So Delaney was convicted and fined $650, a huge amount at that time. His white, what? Wait, hold on, y'all. We can't make this up. His pale-faced supporters in the newspaper business paid the fine for him. Woo, woo, woo. You want to talk about a buster? You want to talk about, I mean, this guy is like, he's like the worst transformer. Like, this is why him and Frederick Douglass didn't, I mean, that he was like, man, what you got going on, bro? You got to get away from me with that, man. You a buster for real. So Douglass, while Frederick Douglass and William Lloyd Garrison were in Pittsburgh in 1847 on an anti-slavery tour, they met with Delaney. In that same year, after a falling out of the sorts occurred between Douglass and the Liberator editor Garrison over the use of violence in the abolition cause and the concept of a strictly so-called African-American run newspaper, Delaney with Douglass conceived the newspaper developed as the North Star to give voice to the stories of so-called African Americans from their own accounts. They started publication later that year in Rochester, New York, where Douglass was based. Douglass handling the editing, printing, and publishing, while Delaney traveled to lecture, report, and obtain subscriptions. So somehow they end up getting into a fallout. You guys know you can't trust this guy, Martin Robinson Delaney. You can't trust this guy. You know, he's a snake. He's trying to make a so-called black Israel off the east coast of Africa. Whoa. Is he one of these Jews? Y'all? The evidence is looking pretty bad on this guy, Martin Delaney. Okay, so we're going to get into the... So he's trying to get everybody to go to all these other places. He's thinking about Canada, the West Indies. He's got South America. He's trying to find a new nations, what they're saying. He's trying to create a new nation, or, you know, be a founder of it. Or this guy's like, he's like a buster, and he done got ran out and ran off, and he's trying to do all these other little side things. Okay, I'm going to start up a little clique over here, start something over here, and get this movement going over here, right? So let's get into let's go into, there's so much like evidence against this guy. So he don't went against his own people also. So he's the buster, traitor of all traitors. Following the war, Delaney continued to be politically active. He established a land and brokerage business in 1871 and worked to help so-called black cotton farmers improve their businesses and negotiating skills to get a better price for their product. He supported supported the Freedmen's Bank, as did Douglass, and also traveled and spoke in support of the colored, not African, colored conventions movement. Delaney also argued against carpetbaggers and so-called black candidates for office when he saw fit. So he's going against them. For instance, he opposed the vice presidential candidacy of Jonathan Jasper Wright and John Mercer Langston on the grounds of inexperience. So he's telling these cats they're inexperienced. He's going against them. He's opposing them. And he opposed the candidacy of another so-called black man as Charleston mayor. So this dude is like wreaking havoc. The community he's supposed to be helping out and everything, he's destroying them. Delaney was appointed as a trial judge in Charleston. 1875, charges of defrauding a church. What in the world? Defrauding a church. This dude is the lowest of low. He defrauding his people, church, everything. Like, he just like, he cutthroat. He what we call today, cutthroat. So, he done defrauded the church. So when he was defrauded the church, charges were brought against him. After conviction, he was forced to resign. So this dude is going through all. He got plagiarism in books, false accusations. This dude right here is like a mess, man. He got a conviction, charges brought up against him. Like, gosh, dang, he's defrauding the church. Like, this guy is like, I don't know what this is. And served time in jail, although pardoned by Republican Governor Chamberlain with the intervention of Wade Hampton. Here goes buddy, Wade Hampton III. That paleface coming to get him. Now we gotta get him out, man. So he gets pardoned. Delaney was now allowed to return to his former position. What? Y'all, guess it pays to be a spy, to be a sucker, to be a buster. Man, this dude done got put back in his position. Delaney supported Democratic candidate Wade Hampton in 1876. Wait until y'all hear this. 1876 election, the only prominent so-called black to do so. Yeah, we bet. Partly as a result of so-called black swing votes encouraged by Delaney, so he's encouraging the people to do this madness, Hampton won the election by fewer than 1,100 votes. However, the election was marred by white intimidation and violence against so-called black Republicans. So where we get this, these are Klansmen. They're going after the so-called copper Republicans, so-called black Republicans, in an effort to suppress the so-called black vote. Armed men from rifle clubs and red shirts. These are like gangs, y'all. The red shirts, the rifle club. These are your so-called pale-faced gangs, right? Operation openly. They operated openly. So these are your Dixiecrats. These are your little squad, man. They got a little squad, a little hit squad. They going and putting in work on the so-called black Republicans. These copper Republicans, right? The latter was a paramilitary group. The latter was a paramilitary group of mostly white men who worked to suppress so-called black voting as the military arm of the Democratic Party. This is a gang, the military arm of the Democratic Party. 1876 South Carolina Rifle Club had about 20,000 white men as members. More than what? What does that say? More than what?
More than 150 so-called blacks were killed in election-related violence.
Martin Delaney, are you serious? You behind this, bruh? You got these people, you helping them suppress the so-called black vote? Martin Delaney?
He's crazy.
Does Rob Moore and them know this? Do they know this stuff about these people that they uplift? And these first so-called black doctors and all this stuff? What did he go to? He went to Harvard or something like that. And look at all this stuff. They got National Negro Conventions and stuff like that. No National African Convention. What did he go to? What school was it?
Harvard Medical School.
Still went to Harvard. And they ran him up out of there. Them pale faces. So he had to gather himself together and get a plan going with them. Go ahead. What do you got? Because, I mean, this is just ridiculous with Martin Delaney. Martin Robinson Delaney, we are flipping you over in your grave, man, because you's a buster for real.
Martin Robinson Delaney was born free on May 6, 1812 in Charlestown, Virginia. Now, within West Virginia, the youngest of 5 children, Delaney was the son of a slave and a grandson of a prince. According to the family reports, all of his grandparents have been brought over from Africa to be slaves.
Wow.
But his father's father was...
Wait, hold on. All of them was brought over from Africa to be slaves, but then they were saying they were noble, and this is why his wife got off and was free. And this is what, or his mom.
Mm-hmm.
They were noble. Go ahead. This just doesn't make sense.
And the son of a slave and grandson of a prince. According to the family reports, all of his grandparents had been brought over here from Africa to be slaves. But his father's father was by some accounts a village chieftain, and his mother's father was a Mandingo prince.
And his mother's father was a Mandingo prince.
His mother, Patty, may have won her freedom because of this, and she worked as a...
His mother, Patty, may have won her freedom. Why the heck would she need to have the name Patty for? Wouldn't it be Ngoko? Or Inyoko? Well, what does she need this name for? And they're free to practice their reading and everything. She's teaching them how to read and everything. He's going to churches and getting behind the so-called paleface. He's learning the paleface everything, scheming and scamming and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck they need like regular names for? Go ahead.
Patty may have won her freedom because of this, and she...
Unless these are Negro pens.
Mm-hmm. Most likely.
Go ahead.
May have won her freedom because of this, and she worked as a sea mistress.
A seamstress?
Yeah, seamstress. While her husband, Samuel, was an enslaved carpenter.
An enslaved carpenter? I thought them fools just in cotton fields and stuff.
Make no sense.
What the heck? What this guy building ships or something? He a spy? He one of them nigger beings building the ships to go over there and snatch the rest of them up. Yeah, bring them over here. We don't give them like we the slaves.
Patty was determined to educate her children, but Virginia was a slave state, and she was reported to the sheriff for teaching them to read and write from the New York...
What? How would they know? How in the heck would the sheriff know? What are you doing? Riding around and went up in the house? Ma'am, can I come in your house? Seen a couple books or something? What the heck you Africans doing with these books? Who taught y'all how to read? How would you even know how to read? How would they know how to read? They be sitting there like, you be like, read it. Like, me African. Me can't, you know how to read it? No, read it. It's in English. So who taught these people? They just all of a sudden they get these books. A peddler brought it and said. They said a peddler brought them the books and she taught them all. Wait, this is crazy, man. We cannot make this up, y'all. Go ahead, Minnie. It's my mini-me, y'all. It's a little king, man. You see him over there blinged up.
And right from the New York Primer for spelling and reading, which she had procured from a traveling peddler.
There it goes. She got these books from a peddler. What is all this like? Is this a coincidence? He just dropped through their neighborhood. Hey, y'all want some books? Man, that stuff was worth money back then. Was nobody just giving out books? The nobilities have books, though. I wonder if these are the Negro pens with these books.
They are. She quickly moved the family to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Samuel could not join them until he had bought his freedom a year later.
Wait, what the heck? Samuel, the dad couldn't join him until he bought his freedom? Hold on, baby. Y'all just go over there. I'm going to get this. I'm working on it. I'm putting stacks together. We're going to go ahead and get this freedom. We're going to bond out. I thought they was locked up. I thought they couldn't get out of there. Well, I thought once you was a slave, you locked in there. They was beating them and raping them and everything. They was stuck for forever.
They're the Negro pens.
Man, this is crazy, man. We can't make this up, man.
Delaney continued his education in Pennsylvania, alternating with the work to help support his family. When he was 19, he walked the 160 miles to Pittsburgh to attend the Bethel Church School.
Woo, that boy was putting some miles on them shoes, huh? Them J's back there. He had them little scrubby J's. Them King James. He had the King James J's. We ain't talking about LeBron either. He had the King James J's on, man. Walking, putting miles on them shoes. I gotta get to this church. Shoot, I got some scheming and scamming to do, man. I gotta get this money.
Attend the Bethel's Church School for Black people in Jefferson's College.
So-called black people, huh?
Mm-hmm.
At where?
Jefferson's College. When he studied Latin, Greek, and classics.
Just like we've been saying. It's on the same, this other one too. This is the Wikipedia, and that one's the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Mm-hmm.
This was a biography of him, though. This is his own biography. That's the source, his own biography. We don't even have to go to Wikipedia. This is his biography. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy, though. Because this dude is going learning Latin and Greek.
Why do you need to learn that?
What the heck do you need to learn that for? Shouldn't he be trying to, if they allow him to do that, why wouldn't he? What about his own language? Nigeria was no?
I don't know where that's at.
Liberia? He don't want, no? He can't speak it? They didn't allow him. But he can go to school and learn this stuff. He can learn the Greek, Latin, and all that stuff. Negro pen, go ahead. That's a Negro pen. Y'all see that? Y'all see that little head he got on him? That's a Negro pen right there. That boy don't look like no dang. You know them Africans got them old funny shaped heads. That boy got one of them nobility heads right there. With that top peeling back. They the ones that started with them wigs. With them pale faces picked up on and started wearing them afro wigs. Did you see them in them courts? Them white wigs. Go ahead.
In Pittsburgh, Delaney became active in abolitionist activities, including leading the Vigilance Committee that helped relocate fugitive slaves, helping to form the Young Men's Literacy and Moral Reform Society, and joining the integrated militia to help defend the black community, so-called black community, against white mob attacks.
Boy, he the one that caught him on there. He just trying to defend them against the white mob attacks. He was just over here with the Democratic dude, with the Democrats. What is that? The Rifle Society? Or what was that? Yeah, the rifle clubs and all this. They run in and killed what? 150 so-called blacks were killed during election-related violence. And this dude got the dude in there, the dude Hampton, and then go right with him with the Klan party, Dixiecrats, and all them. Let's go get them. You can see him too. Look at him. You can see this little rusty old Negro pen. Yeah, let's go get them Negroes. We're gonna teach them. Man, we can't make this up, y'all.
He traveled through the Midwest, down to New Orleans, and over the Arkansas, including a visit to the Choctaw Nation.
What? Wait.
Choctaw Nation.
He. Wait, hold on. Read that again.
He traveled through the Midwest, down to New Orleans, and over the Arkansas, including a visit to the Choctaw Nation.
This dude that's learning Latin and Greek is going to the Choctaw Nation, y'all. What is he speaking to them? Latin, Greek, or English? Or is he speaking the language of the Choctaw people?
Mm-hmm.
And who would these people be?
Us.
Oh, wait, hold on. He's behind the church, too.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what they pushed on the people, right? Us indigenous people was what?
American Indians.
No, what did they push on us?
Oh, that was black, African.
Religion.
African, yeah, religion.
They pushed their religion on us. So this dude he didn't already went and got baptized and everything in the fire in the name of Jesus and all this stuff. And now he's like, they sent him on a mission. They got him prepped up and like, you ready now? Go get them Indians, boy. You go get them Indians. And here he come, doodling around with this guy right here. This little bean head right here. Come over there, go to the Choctaw Nation, our people. Ain't that what your great granny said?
Mm-hmm.
What did she say?
We were Choctaw. Before settling down and marrying Catherine Richards, the daughter of a well-to-do merchant in 1843.
Yep, remember we read that. So her family balling. This is a so-called black woman. Balling back then. We don't even know nothing about this. What's her name again? Hey, y'all, we got to start looking her up. What's her name?
Catherine Richards.
Catherine Richards. Catherine is, let me see, what does it correlate on here? Catherine Richards. What's it done? I lost it somewhere. Okay, but say her name again?
Catherine Richards.
Okay. It's on this one too. YKKKpedia got it on there too, y'all. YKKpedia got it on there too, and this is biography. This is Delaney Robinson Martin, who was charged with treason and busterism, suckerism, what else can we call it? Traitorism, snakeism. He's just the
real mama mentality.
Man, this is who the Pan-Africans, this is who Rob Bourne brought up. Did they not think the Indians read? Hey, we on the information highway. We ain't no stone gonna be unturned. Go ahead. Guys, we ain't taking up y'all time. We hope y'all getting some good work up out of this, because these Pan-Africans was been giving y'all and still giving y'all that bamboozle, that B12 dope. Go ahead.
They went on to have 11 children. Delaney resumed his interest in...
Wait, I wonder if she's probably Indian. Wait, he went down right after he went to the Choctaw people?
Mm-hmm.
The Choctaw, he went down there and maybe snatched up a wife or something?
Oh, yeah, probably.
She got money? Parents rich and all that? Like, come on, you little Indian.
Delaney resumed his interest in medicine, but also found the first African-American newspaper.
Oh, boy. That was what Rob Bourne was. This is what he was living by. And the guy and all this that's behind him, remember, these pale faces bailed him out. They've been bailing him out and paying for his lawyer fees and everything, and paid for the newspaper to be printed. All this stuff. They're all behind this dude. Behind every treacherous Negro, traitor, whether we're not the same people or not, but they brought this, I ain't even going to get into that. They brought this mess over here with their little trifling butts. And we do have some of the stuff running through some of our ancestry. You know, these Negro pens popping up. Some of them was good. And a lot of them was just straight trifling and brought their garbage over here. And like the saying goes, as they say in the Bible, so below, so beneath. So I guess that would be Europe or whatever, they below, or whoever, us. We don't know which way is what, north, south. We don't know what is what, but whatever was going on there, it was spilling off over here. So, you got something else you want to drop in there? Is there something spicy highlighted or something you want to go through? Maybe we haven't touched on?
The papers. Frederick Douglass quickly hired Delaney to write for his paper, the North Star, in 1847, but they didn't always agree on the right course. for the abolitionist movement, and the collaboration ended after 5 years.
So this dude's cutting ties with everybody. Everybody's like, man, you just a snake, bro. Get from around here. Move around, man. Move around. They pulled that pistol on him. Put that pistol to his stomach. Hey, you gotta move around, bro. It ain't cool for you to be around here, man. You causing a whole lot of friction and turmoil within the Indians. Get up out of here, man. Move around. We got something else going on. Nah, we don't need you. Going over there in them palefaces. We don't need you, bro. Go and get up out of here, man.
So he returned to writing and publishing The Origin and Objects of Ancient Freemasonry.
Freemasonry?
Yeah, masonry.
He did what? Hold on. Read that again.
So he returned to writing and publishing The Origin and Objects of Ancient Freemasonry.
So if he's writing this guy's involved in this Freemasonry stuff. That Negro pen stuff he done brought. Hiding and him and his little buddies up in them little cabins and stuff. Figuring out a way to destroy us. Helping out the pale faces and everything. And every which way he doing. Y'all don't see this? Every which way in his actions. He's showing that he's for them. He ain't help do nothing with us. He can take that funky religion and take that right back over to his people. Take that across the seas, wherever he coming from. Negro pen. He's a Negro pen. That's that type of stuff they be doing too.
Shiesty. They promoted, this promoted a trip to Nigeria in the mid-1850s to negotiate land for African American immigrants, as well as exploring Central America and Canada as options.
So he's everywhere. I mean, I can see that, you know. I mean, we don't know. The dude's just bouncing around. He's trying to start up new movements and all kind of stuff.
The Emancipation Proclamation gave Delaney hope that immigration might not be necessary, and he became active in promoting the use of African Americans in the Union Army. After the war, Delaney tried to enter politics. A quasi biography written. Delaney was a stepping. 1868 was a stepping stone to serving on the Republican State Executive Committee and running for Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina. Although he supported African American business and advancement, he would not endorse certain candidates if he did not think they were fit to serve. But his
who the heck is he to tell somebody they ain't fit to serve? He gonna tell the so-called black people that, I ain't gonna support get him up out of here, he ain't fit to serve. Boy, who is you? You old snake?
But his support did help elect Wade Hampton governor of South Carolina, and he was appointed trial judge. Delaney died of tuberculosis on January 24th, 1885.
Came up
and
came back and bit him. That karma came back. Well, and he's supposed to be a doctor working with people with cholera and all these other diseases coming from Europe and all over there, Asia. Go ahead.
In Wilberforce, Ohio, he has been described as a Renaissance man.
Renaissance? Renaissance? What does Renaissance mean? He is, what does it say? He is what?
He has been described as a Renaissance man.
As described? He has been described as a Renaissance man. Renaissance means rebirth. He is described as a rebirth man. Remember that, y'all. Rebirth. What is he rebirthing? What is he bringing? This new ideology. You're Africans, all this. In the same breath and sentence, they got all this Negro conventions, free people of color things going on, all this stuff, all in the same thing. And here he comes with this little Africa thing, this little Africa theory. And then he's all over the place. Then he don't go and visit, he goes and visits all these places trying to find a home for his little group, his little movement he's trying to put together. But ain't nobody biting for it. And on the note, we're going to end this because he died trying to get people somewhere. And then he just gave up and said, I ain't got the money to do it no more. Let me take this route. And left the whole plan. He had a plan mapped out and everything. Is how we're going to do it. They started getting, they said they purchased a ship or something. So they went through everything. And the guy tapped out and said, nah, I got to take care of my family and everything. He leaves. It doesn't happen. And the guy flops over. Karma came and got him. Tuberculosis. And he's out of there.
Mm-hmm.
The highest energy, the Most High wasn't dealing with that. Struck him down. Get out of here, man. You're done. I used you. And you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note,
Peace.
I want to say peace, power to the people.
Yep.
Make sure every last one of these dudes, like they always say, watch what these Pan-Africans give you. Read and go through these people thoroughly. Because we got crime scenes going on.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the culprits. This guy right here, he was no good. This guy right here, remember his face. He was no good. And on that note, salute to the people.